Okay, today we are going to do science. Maybe not the most scientific thing we've ever done, but I want to figure out what's better between smash burgers and kind of your traditional pub burger. So a nice big fat juicy pie. I'll be honest, I've never had great success with smash burgers. I've done them a couple of times, even on the channel I've done them a couple of times. I can't say I've ever been overly happy with the results. However, we have made some pretty awesome burgers. So now that I have the Blackstone Griddle, I want to give them both a try. So we're going really simple. These are just going to be plain cheeseburgers. Again, this is science, so don't want anything too fancy. So the exact same 80-20 beef here. I've made one into a half-pound patty. That'll kind of shrink in a little bit. I then have 2 quarter-pound balls that we're going to use for smash burgers. So they'll be pressed down onto the griddle to get a nice sear on them, hopefully. Both sets of burgers will be seasoned with the Steakhouse Gaucho. Just a nice steak rub from the Smoky Carter. I'll leave links below for it if you want to check it out. So both will be equally seasoned. Next up then will be cheese. So cheese will be melted over the top of them. Now, each of our smash burgers will get a slice on top of it each. So that's 2 slices total for the burger. So we need to make sure and try and keep things fair. So our half-pound one will also get 2 slices of cheese on top of it, just to try and be as even as possible. And lastly, they will both go into a toasted brioche bun. I have to say, brioche rolls aren't as soft as I thought they would be. It's kind of hard to tell whenever you get them out of the thing, but once they're toasted, it should be fine. But they have been brushed with a little bit of mayonnaise, and then that will toast on top of the griddle. Then we build it all up and we try them. I'm not saying this will be the definitive guide, but it will at least answer in my head whether smash burgers are worth kind of persevering with to get better at them, or whether this is the best way to do a burger. So overall, they will both be half-pound burgers at the end of it, which are pretty beefy burgers, but I'm here for it. So we'll move over to the griddle and get these on. I'm going to put this on first. I think this is going to take a little bit longer to cook than these. So we'll get this one on, start it off, then put these on. Okay, so first off, griddle is well heated up here. I haven't got my thermometer right, hold on. Temperature wise, we are pretty even on both sides, about 310 C. So more than hot enough for some smash burgers. I'm going to put a little bit of oil down first. Move that around with a spatula. So our main patty, we're going to stick to the middle as the hottest part. Main patty will go on this side. And as far as the seasonings go, I don't want to put them on straight away because they will just burn on that underside. So once I flip it over, I'm going to season it on top of it, and that'll kind of let the seasonings melt down into it as it cooks. As I said, if this goes on now and we got that sear on it, it's just going to end up blackening the bottom of it. So we'll give those a couple of minutes and then we'll get our smash burgers on this side. At this point we can go ahead and get our smash burgers on. So right in the middle here. Grab a little bit of greaseproof, put it on top, and then press it down in. Nice and thin. And same again with the second one on this side. Greaseproof on, press it down. Peel it off. At this point, I think our pub burger is probably ready to flip over. Lovely crust on that. You don't want to touch these for a minute or two. Thing about a smash burger, never looks pretty, kind of looks a little bit weird the way it all goes, but hopefully flavour wise it is well worth it. Okay, so I've had a few minutes. I can kind of see they're starting to go brown, crispy around the edges. Which is what we want. Now the fun part is trying to get them flipped over without ruining them. So the secret is to scrape, try and make sure you don't lose any of that coating. That looks good to me. Perfect. Right, cheese. No, tell a lie. Seasonings, then cheese. So we'll dust them all a bit of that gaucho rib. And we'll go on with a slice on each of our smash burgers and 2 slices on our pub burger. Actually, before I do that, I want to probe them just to double check and see what temperature they are. We're still nowhere near on the pub burger. Still sitting at like just below 60, so we have a little while to go yet before they're ready. So 2 slices of cheese go on. Shut the lid down for a second. Just try and trap the heat in, let a bit of that cheese melt. Alright, our smash burgers are more than done at this stage. So again, scraping to make sure you get all that coating off. I'm going to place one on top of the other, and then we can lift those off onto a plate while this one finishes off. Take a bit of a temperature reading inside it. I'll run a couple of degrees away, so I'll grab cloche, stick it over the top of it, just to again melt that cheese properly, and plus it'll make a sort of smaller, warmer environment for it just to finish off. Then scrape off some of this oil, etc. I can use this side to get our buns toasted. So again, there's mayonnaise on them. It's what I always use to toast the buns. You can use butter, any kind of fat you want, oil, anything, doesn't matter. So we'll give those a minute or two just to toast while this one finishes off. Then it is taste test time. Oh, they look good. They smell amazing too. Alright, we have a really nice crust on our baps. So we can go ahead, get them off. Pretty sure our pub burger should be ready as well. Give it a check with Thermopen. Perfect. Okay, I'll get that off too. It's time to build these up. Time to give them a try. Don't know if this is really necessary, but I feel like I should cut them in half just to see what they're like on the inside. Still lovely and juicy inside it. Perfectly cooked the whole way through. Kind of end up with a little bit of a cheese skirt melted down over it. That was unintentional, but we'll take it. Right, this one here I'm not expecting much from, because you don't expect the smash burger. They're too thin to be like nice and juicy inside, but the whole point is they're crispy, a little bit chewy, nice and cheesy. I have high hopes. The 100% looks wise, they're the best smash burgers I've ever done. First time I've done them on the Blackstone, so well impressed. Right, what do we go first? We'll go smash burger first. Oh, still juicy. Here we go. Oh, that is divine. There's no other way to describe it. It's so cheesy. It's such a strange sensation as well. Biting into a burger and getting like crispy bits, little like gnarly bits around the edge. And they're proper crispy, but they're not like blackened, charred, crunchy, if that makes sense. But that is a good burger. I'll go one more bite before we go the other way. Now, even for being almost the thickness of bacon, it is surprisingly moist, but I think it's the whole thing of layering it with cheese. So you get patty, cheese, patty, cheese. If that was just 2 patties with cheese on top, I don't know if it works as well or not. Maybe we'll try that next time, because we'll be making more of these. Right, it's wasp season to make sure there's no wasps in my beer. Cleanse the palate. And onto the pub burger. Now, this is the cheese skirt around the edge. This was kind of unintentional, but it happened. I'm going to take a bite from this side because this is more traditional how it's supposed to be. Oh, oh man. I kind of thought I was going to come to some kind of conclusion here. We were going to do science and stuff and actually decide on something which was better, but I'll tell you now, it's not going to happen. That is something else. For something so simple, Again, the crust on that burger as well. There's not as much of it there as is in the smash burgers, but I kind of feel like it's cheating if I don't give you some kind of conclusion. Juiciness wise, like moist burger wise, the pub burger definitely wins. It's good flavour, it's moist. It kind of feels like you're eating just all burger. The bun kind of fades in the background. Cheese almost disappears. Like you don't really taste the cheese in it at all. It's mostly burger. Whereas this one is kind of an overall, there's more textures going on. It is just as juicy, maybe not quite as juicy. Okay, I'll not tell you, it's not quite as juicy. Depends where you're biting. If you're eating around the edges, a little bit crunchier, different texture. The middle is juicy. But I kind of feel like this one kind of goes together all as one. So the burger and the cheese, etc., all, you can taste it all. This one is mostly burger. I'm sure you guys have an opinion on it and I want to hear it. Is there a different way I should be doing it? Should I try these maybe as 2 fully dressed burgers and test them at the end? I wanted to keep them as simple as possible so that there was as few variations as possible. I'm sure you guys will still pick up some. I always get them whenever we do these comparisons, but I think 2 different applications for 2 different burgers. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to conclude on. Leave in the comments below which one you prefer, if you've tried both, and any tips you've got on perfecting them both. Go for it, let me know. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.